Hi, welcome to Policy Times. I'm Sarfraz Nasir. Today I have with me Professor U K Chowdhury. He is a very prominent media person and he had been a very active journalist. Now he is heading the media school of Pearl Academy. Welcome, Professor Chowdhury. What ails Indian media? Are they greedy or they gutless?
No, no. Media in every age, in every society, has been a mixed bag. There have been extremely dedicated, honest, committed media people, and there have been people who are basically power brokers. There have been people who would compromise for advertisements and other monetary benefits. So there have been all sorts. So you cannot paint the entire media of the country with the same brush.
Do you really think there is a crisis of credibility in media today?
There has been challenges to media credibility in all ages. Having said that, in the last few years, the crisis of credibility has increased because the type of stories that are coming up many a time are openly known as fake news or false news, are not even cross-verified. Good that there are also false news busting organizations, but there are many which are finding space in legacy or established media which are false, news which are false. So that's one. Secondly, this is often seen that the way with which a media strictly and very judiciously looks at several political leaders, criticizes their policies or stands, questions them, does not necessarily the same standards they do not maintain for many others. So there are leaders, even in power, who are never questioned. And there are leaders, though in opposition or in states, who are questioned far more. That shows that there is a bias. The third aspect I would like to say is that media's focus on emotive issues, emotional issues, is much more than the fundamental issues of basic amenities and development of the society and the people.
Your take on the media freedom and especially editorial freedom. There has been report that of course India has a very free media, but corporate houses does not allow the editorial board to function independently.
Three problems on media freedom. One, pressures from government. A very celebrated editor like Milind Khandekar from ABP News had to resign due to pressures from government. And there are many other cases. Two, compromises of the corporate media. Corporate media's cost of operations are very high. Their entire business model is skewed, and they depend on advertisements and government patronage, and therefore they are almost compelled to either compromise or go slow on issues that they should be strong about. The third problem of media's credibility is individuals' talent and skills of media men. There is a large number of people who are coming into media. Neither they are technically always skilled enough, nor they are skilled on concepts and ethics. So there are compromises there as well. So compromises at three levels: from the government side, from the corporate side, and individual side. Having said that, there are extraordinarily committed, honest, and competent media people also working in the country.
Your take on gender imbalance in newsroom, especially that one where it comes to the board and the HR sections. Why there is such a massive imbalance, gender imbalance?
While it is true that a large number of women work at the lower level, at the entry level of media in the newsrooms, but often it is found that as they grow up, the proportion is going down. In fact, in regional newsroom, the proportion is very bad even at the entry level as well. National newsroom, television by nature is the visual medium, there are women. But decision makers, how many editors are there? Very few. Excepting some like NDTV or Mirror Now or a few others, exactly. You do not find too many decision-making women in the newsroom. Few issues. One, specific to the gender. Many women cannot keep up with the pressures of the profession, and beyond marriage or beyond childbirth, then they take a backseat. That's one. But there are also structural problems or challenges as well. When it comes to major decision-making and when it comes to interacting with the powers that be, the men leaders have come closer. They have a sort of a bonding among themselves to keep many women out. So that's also reported in many places. The third aspect is that there are a lot of issues connected to the way the women journalists are treated in the organizations. So many people also from that perspective also fall out. So there are challenges. I would still consider that in the last 10 years, with the rise of social media and television, 10 to 15 years, there has been a larger number of women coming up within the newsroom. That's a good sign, but long way to go.
Last question, sir. Some 2 or 3 years back, I got a news, and that was a basically report conducted by CSDS, and it was about the caste in newsroom. I mean, why there is certain, not certain, but explicit deprivation of certain, caste, especially Dalit from the newsroom.
One, yes, the representation of Dalit voice or Dalit professionals is very low in the newsrooms of the country. Having said that, one reason is the very nature of the medium. It requires certain level of education, certain level of depth, and a certain level of knowledge. Unfortunately, from their childhood, large number of talented Dalit men and women do not get all those scopes to come to that level. So by nature of the medium, there are certain limitations as far as talent and skills are concerned. So larger amount of highly educated people are from the higher caste, so they get chances. Having said that, because the editorial team is largely from the large upper castes, so their bias is also there. Their bias, even if they get Dalit talent who can be hired, they go slow many a time, or they are given peripheral work, they are given freelance work, they are kept as retainers. So real decision making and leadership role is very tough to get. Having said that, because today's media organizations are hankering for skilled and intellectually competent talent, both. If they're intellectually competent, they're poor on skills. If they're great on skills, they're poor on intellect. So if a good number of talent from minorities and Dalit families who can combine intellect and skills together can come up, there is a large section of the media who are not overtly biased, and they'll be forced to hire. However, having told that, there are challenges here.
Thank you so much for talking with.
Thank you, Police Time.